Yeah, so just gonna show you a showcase of map I'm making in Arma Reforger. Hopefully they will keep Arma Reforger for Arma 4 also, so you can easy. So I'm making a map where I used to grow up. It's a peninsula. I grew up here. Got a set map and terrain from a site. Probably not one of your guys' usual, but I found this and I got it to work with tokens and every shit like that. Annoying. Uh, it's water around. I think you can. Uh, I hopefully you can. I mean, you should be able to cross everywhere with the boats. And so I have like maybe scenarios, or I will put points on like these sides also. This is mainland basically, and this is also mainland. You know, it's a lake, it goes in and out, in and out, in and out. This is mostly a peninsula, the other are more mainland. There are some islands, inhabited and habited, some bird islands, etc. etc. So I'm using, this is a very big project, so for this is the first map I'm making, so it's very big. Starting with this island, because then it's kind of like, yeah, learning how to do basically everything, how to paint, how to do everything. Using working in layers. This is a thing I made yesterday. Map areas so I can go easy to a place. So basically all the main forests, or actually all the forests are made with the forest generators and with the vector tool and splines and shit. I think this one is actually a polyline. Yeah, it is. Yeah, but you can just as well take a spline. And using the splines to make like not rivers but irrigation ditches. You will never get it to make smooth, but it works. Uh, kind of looks pretty good. It's made with spline and adjusting height. Up, up. And the road here is also using the adjusted height. Because, and also got some issues with that because my terrain is lowered 4 meters. Oh yeah, so I have to raise my spline, like where you see the spline is actually above the when this adjusted terrain. That's because of this 4 meter thing. And I did that because if you see where there's no water, like here, of course this is not so steep. So what I did, because there was so much of the height here that was above the water from original, I lowered the entire entity, terrain entity, like 4 meters something, to make it more, and then I'll just adjust it on the shorelines manually. It will be more work, maybe or maybe not. I think I don't care about doing the terrain again because it was kind of a nightmare. So as much as possible, I'm trying to use inbuilt system and editing them, and then it's getting more and more and editing the inbuilt system textures and stuff like that, ground textures. So for example, here in the start of this island and everything around it, I made a terrain texture that is actually with river reeds. This one is for when it's close to water, with mostly dirt underground and just the river reed and some maybe water plants. Uh, then there's another where it's more inland, for example, reeds water line. Then it's more with some grass underground textures. So you can, you see, yeah, you can blend them a bit together. So that one have like some bushes and other and grass underlying. You can see how this looks on an area, another area on the island where it's more finished with the shoreline. Here it's not super finished, but it's well enough finished. This is a small one too. So yeah, this is what you get from. I could not get this to blend with grass, good, but it's fine. So here's the inland. Now I come to the water line. Where's kind of look good. I fucked up the lighting earlier. Then I also, as I said, I'm using the inbuilt system as much as possible, but editing with making my own ground stuff. I changed the ocean to fit more like a lake. The lake is murky water and everything, so yeah, you can't use a clear blue water with you need some murky shit. It looks good, I think, on close range and everything. Maybe some more foam, but it doesn't look great when you do this. So when you're flying choppers, probably it will be. But I mean, I've paddled here, so I think it's good enough. Maybe we'll see. You can change it back. And yeah, as I said earlier, I'm using this island to learn how to make a map with everything like generators, blah blah blah, road and everything. You doing everything. I'm also editing textures for the buildings because we usually don't have so many white buildings. The only one white here is probably like these, and this one is actually yellow. So yeah, this is kind of true. All of these. Couldn't find a good building for this area, so just took some. I have done the barn here. I've retextured using the inbuilt system. I'll show you that later. Make it red with the outside wood. I'm pretty happy about how this looks, but not entirely happy, but pretty good. Using this bunker, this to fit it on. I have some light errors inside here, but I'll take that later. And it's actually quite easy to do this stuff when you get to use how to look where the textures are. So I made my own thing here for this. So just changing which BCR is gonna use. This is like probably something else, like a concrete wall. I don't know. Changing it to plank and everything. How to use this combine and everything is kind of a little bit weird, but you can make it figure out. So this one is not edited with the on the material on the mask. Yeah, the mask is original, what I believe. That's why it looks like it looks. But however, this building I made with the same kind of wood material on roof and not the roof, but roof got another wood. I actually remade after a while the mask. Took a while to figure out which one the chimney is because I wanted the chimney to be in this material. I could not find it which color it was, so it took some time. So on this material I actually have my own, yeah, it's called test, my own mask map. I made this completely manually in GIMP, like Photoshop. It works. Uh, Maybe not everything looks super, but yeah, this destruction building is still destructible because it's based from the same. It's just the texture. Probably gonna fine tune stuff when you like. Okay, but this is good enough for me now. Uh, when I was creating roads, because I had lowered the terrain, I think I already said it. I have to. I cannot have these, snap to terrain. If I snap it now, it's gonna be fucked up. But I have to snap it to terrain when I create it, and then raise it 4 meter. So I make the spline. Can make a spline somewhere. New spline snap to terrain. Snap it here, and then I don't like how this works sometimes. So like that, we'll see that it's snapped to terrain. That's a really shitty snap. I'll delete this one. I'll create a road here. So what I had to do, when I create it, like I got this. Like, oh fucking hell, it's supposed to be on top of this. But what I had to do is I had to basically now, when I created this, go back to vector tool, pull off snap terrain, so it doesn't fuck up again, I think. Then go up here and just raise this with the 4 meters, so this will be 4.5. Then it will be in the level that the map is actually on. So that's something I have to keep in remember. But it works. Ooh. Oh. Something I want to learn is how I can. I know like the original maps have this somehow. Is that I have like painted dirt or pebbles under the roads to make the roads looks good. I don't want that. Because it creates, if you know, in the terrain tool with the paint, you can only have 5 different uh, materials for the paint. This can sometimes create me issues when you have like I think I have had an issue somewhere here. I think I had an issue with it. Yeah, you see here is a bit weird. Maybe here, maybe it was here, but I had some areas where I can't blend like I want to on this edge of the wood line with I want. I have to create it one. But on the other regular maps, I've seen that this vegetation is gone from the roads. So you can just paint. This is grass one, yeah. Like you can paint like this, but the vegetation will be gone underneath the road. I do not know how they have made it. I will try to figure out that, but you can't see it how they've done it. That's kind of shit. But yeah, so as I said, I'm learning on this island to create everything. I have a lot of more detail work, so all the woods are in, like I said. Just putting in, like cliffs here and there, according to what this map say. So for example, cliffs here, they are in, they are somewhat true. And I think I have another cliff somewhere in the, but I haven't made much. This cliff also. Or not cliff, it's not even cliff, it's just a big rock. Sweden was a lot of volcanoes, long, 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 long time. So we have a lot of granite because the volcanoes raised the rock level basically here and there. So there's a lot of these, hilly small, and then also a lot of these gravel ridges. That's also a lot in Sweden. For example, this is a gravel ridge made from the Ice Age. And so I have a lot more detailing work, but I will do that later. Or maybe I'll do it just to finish it and then learning something more. But I'm learning how to create now, how to use the AI. So for example, okay, I'm using scenario framework on this mode. So I've been able to make them spawn from dynamic when you like enter an area from yourself. So these guys are just walking here and there, blah 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 blah. And if I go in here, they're gonna of course attack me. But if I enter here, I have a trigger for buff. But I want them to trigger it. I can figure that out. Then of course I have created uh, started yesterday or day before to create how to create tasks. And like, yeah, okay, this is the map. Using the same set map, I'll either create a new or use this map for it. I've already like done export of this. Then I just figure out how to put it together, making the maps and with the names. I like to have them visible at all time, but making them smaller somehow later. I know you can do that. So creating a task. This looks weird. This is set up from the issue. So entering this, now I have no objective. Nothing's on the map. I'm just gonna put it here. Ooh, nighttime. This task is created. Hey, destroy this shit and kill the recon team. Okay, let's do the destroy shit first. He's gonna trigger it. And come on, objective. Die. Ja, men helvete. I haven't killed him. Nope. Come on, blow up. There you go. Time changed. And task is complete. Kill the recon team. He's not dead, so. I did not get this to work with more than one dude. So probably have to make several one dudes with somehow. And yeah, mission finished. Victory. So that's what I'm working on mostly now. And I have, when I'm doing these kind of stuff, I've actually found this examples. They work actually kind of good. Scenario framework examples, and for example, this task, dynamic despawn. This is what I used on that patrol thingy, for example. That it spawns when I enter the area. I want to learn how to create and spawn this when a trigger or whatever, I don't know, something when someone goes somewhere or some entity like if this dude goes here, I need to activate some function. I have not learned that yet. There's probably some sample for it in this list. Exfil easy, destroy easy, destroy rock, I don't know, deliver intel, waypoints, task move, yeah. So finish task to create task, oh, that might work. But yeah, uh, yeah, that's what I'm learning right now. Let's see here. Destructible environment was kind of weird. I want to learn how to make it some destructible and some not. Let's go into GM and use some mortar. Wherever it was. Here. Mortar barrage on this wood maybe. Let's see if it works. Yeah. It works. I didn't get that one to work earlier. Let's see if it works on the building here. I think it does now. Yeah. Some issue I had with this is that I don't read any manuals or anything. I know there's a nice manual called something like Atlas. I never got them to. It took a while for me to get them to walk. What I didn't do is that I did not. Let's see, where is it? Do what's called nav mesh and put it on wherever it's supposed to go. Anyway, when I did it, they just started to move. Hey, finally. So, except from all the buildings that I've made, I've also we have something called rune stones in Sweden, and yeah, a lot of most of them are in Sweden, but Denmark and Norway have them also. They have like a little mark with the R. We can go and check that out, how I did that. Again, I was close to finishing and maybe making using Blender for it, but finally I found a nice thing to use. I found the cliff, one of the cliff actually looks like a stone. So I just took that one and made it a runestone. I'm not sure where the flickering is coming from, so I have to default search that. I got it to work perfectly earlier. That's what I have. This island is like 1.6 wide, I think, and like 1.2 high. And the entire map is 10 by 10 kilometers. So it's quite a lot more to do. So as I said, I'm using this island to learn to do this stuff. Then I'll just do it. And the map entity, how it looks. Buff. Using the sat map temporarily. We'll see if I use like this or if I use this kind of map for the ground. We'll see. I kind of like this, but maybe remake it with better thing here. But the lining is working well for this because it's the same sat map from the and everything, so it's fit together. If I create it from this, it might be distorted somehow. I will remake this with the height map and everything because I want more of these lines to show up, just like in this. Maybe not this much, but a little bit more. Like this one is supposed to have at least. So that's the 0. This is one like it's 45, 50 meter high in, so it's like a bit too little stuff. We'll see. And yeah, creating scenarios and everything. You can make boat scenario, boat naval bases or whatever you want to call it, to go places, or maybe like airborne stuff. I might make like a fictional road. Oh, here's a road. Use this road to go over here, maybe something like a bridge over here so you can cross with vehicles, maybe also. Oh, what we'll see if I do it or not. Uh, yeah, so there's a lot more work to do and still learning everything and every system. Thanks to all of those that have replied to my questions forever and ever in discords, different discords. Gramps answered some, for example, and I don't know, private parts. There's a lot more work to do. A lot more work. There's not so many buildings here, so and like yeah, using generators to create the woods, using lines to create specific parts. Specific is nice. Like this kind of nicer stuff, you can just place a line and place the stuff on it. Then it's easier to select actually which. Uh, so like doing this stuff took me a while to that. Yeah, okay, you need to have the polylines doing the height map, otherwise it's like you can't do this manually. It's a really tough job, and that took some time to get learned to with this thing with the height of the polyline to the ground for me with this terrain and everything. So I have a lot more work. Wish me luck. It's gonna take some years. But I actually hope to make a first showcase release maybe sometime this year of like this island, and maybe like a co-op scenario. I don't know how to create all of this, so but like that, okay, you have to enter the island and why is this? Oh, I didn't delete it. There you go. Like go here, kill this dude, blah blah blah, with more dynamic tasks. I learned how to make randomization. It's not that hard. It's actual triggers and everything. And I do not want to use or script because that's I don't know how to do it. That's too much. I know there's a guy made a script how to do it, but it's too complex. I want to use the inbuilt like scenario triggers somehow. So if anyone knows how to do that, I'm happy to um, know you to how to create it. And yeah, wish me luck. Thank you.